Katie, welcome to a new hair tutorial. We're going to be doing an interesting parting this time. We're going to be sectioning off the front part of our hair, so all the hair in front of the ears. And I'm going to be making a headband parting, plus the two panels up in front. So you can see how I did that there. The headband is at a different level than the two front panels to make it obvious of where it starts, because we're really going to be featuring that. Any hair that's not in the headband, we're going to be tying underneath our chin to keep it out of the way. And also the hair behind, get that out of the way as well, so we can just work on this headband here. Now this is going to be a Dutch braid. So remember, a Dutch braid, you're going to be folding under, not over. And these first 3 to 4 stitches of the braid, I'm going to have fairly small and tight to my head. And the reason for that is, if we're loosening up the braid further down, that's going to make this part of the braid stand up a little bit more, no matter if we mess with it or we don't. And I like to have the top part of the braid start as if it's graduating out of the rest of our hair, not just suddenly, boom, there's a headband. So I'm going to go very slowly here and make sure I get that as tight as possible. And then I can start picking up bigger pieces and being a little bit more loose, holding on to it. This hairstyle I first saw done by Kaylee Melissa, and I put a link for her version below. This is an incredibly versatile and beautiful hairstyle that you can use pretty much for any occasion, any style of clothing. Now notice how I'm pulling the braid backwards behind my ear. This is because we want it to fold back into the braid that we're going to be doing in the back of our head. And also, you don't want a braid resting on your ear. It's not comfortable. I'm only pancaking the part of the braid that's going to be showing. About from here down, I'm going to be doing a braid as tightly as I can, because I want as much length out of this as I possibly can get. And just secure it with a little bobby pin. Now we're going to smooth back these two front panels. If you have shorter layers in the front, you can leave some pieces out. Right here, you could just stop and make this your hairstyle. It's perfectly beautiful just this way. But we're going to continue the hairstyle as Kristen Stewart wore it in Snow White and the Huntsman. Now here at the top, we need a lot of height. So this first piece I'm pulling up, and I'm going to be pulling that out of the way, because we want this piece to be as smooth as possible. You could back comb here, or tease. I'm not going to do that because I don't want any damage back there. So again, a little section up front to make everything look smooth. And this other piece I have here, I want to get about an even rectangle section all the way around. So do make sure that it's not bulkier on one end than the other. This is even as possible. And now we're going to roll it around our fingers. So around 2 fingers there just to get it started. Get it off your fingers and keep it as smooth as possible. Continue to roll under. Now when you reach the base of your head, again keeping it as even and as smooth as possible, we're going to bobby pin it in place. I find at this point, no matter how smooth I kept it, part of the roll inside wants to stick up and make it a little uneven. So we're just going to smooth it and push it around until we get it exactly the way we like it. You can use more bobby pins to secure this. I would not recommend more than 4 in the back of your head because it'll start to weigh down and pull on your hair. So if you're having trouble with it, just redo it until you get a minimum number of bobby pins back there. Now, when we put this top piece over, we're going to split it in 3. And this time, we're going to French braid. So now the pieces are going over each other rather than under. Pull it backwards smoothly, but not downwards, because if you pull it down too much, we're going to be removing the height that we worked so hard to get in right there. You can also put a hairpiece back here, like a hair platform, if you want even more height to your hair. So I'm very gently braiding directly backwards instead of down until I get over this piece that I rolled under. And as you go, you may have to stop and push the hair back upwards to make sure you're still getting that height there and you're not pulling the height right back out. When it seems appropriate, grab your front pieces. See, I'm pulling the height right back up again. And when it looks natural to pull the braid backwards into your braid, do that. I really like to have my accent braid show as much as possible. So while you're putting the stitches over each other, if you can feel where the braid is, maneuver it so it's on the top of your braid. Now I'm pulling the braid to the side because I do want this over my shoulder. I'm stopping right here because I'm losing that accent braid. I'm going to secure the braid the best I can and take a little bit of hair from this stitch and recreate another accent braid. So it looks like that accent braid never stops. I want it to go all the way down my braid. And this gives that really great illusion that it does. Because no matter how long your hair is, you're not going to be able to get the hair from the top of your head to go all the way back and down to meet the length of the rest of your hair, unless you do this. And now again, while we braid, feel for that accent braid and maneuver it so it's sitting on top of the stitch that you just did. It does take a little patience here to make sure that your hair cooperates. And what's nice about that is this is an easy 3-strand braid, so you have time to be able to do that. So now when you're pancaking, just make sure you don't accidentally tug on the accent braid. And you can make this braid or the braid on top as big or as thin as you would like. This is our little bunny Repels. He was very sweet and cuddly, so I brought him up to take pictures of him. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up to let me know and comment below. Thank you so much for watching.